the best piece of art advice that I got was actually in a grade 10 art class from my teacher, Ms. Kendall. And essentially, we had a project to work on. It was a sketchbook project, and I must have spent like 30 to 40 hours working on this particular drawing. And it was a model, and she's sort of, beautifully posed, and she's wearing like a translucent ruffled collar. And I mean, I spent hours upon hours upon hours on this, color in graphite. And then the project was due the next day, and I had the gloved hand left to do, and so I did that as fast as I possibly could. I handed it in. I'm expecting like an A, like maybe an A plus, but like definitely solidly an A on this, because I thought this was like the best thing I've ever done. And when I got my work back, I got a C. And after I got over the initial shock of that, I went to the teacher, to Ms. Kendall. I'm like, why did I get a C on this? I don't understand. Because I was pretty solidly an A student, and I just did not get it. And what she told me is this, that she could immediately tell the last thing that I had worked on. And that was that gloved hand that I kind of very quickly threw together the night before the project was due. And because she could tell the last thing I worked on, that's what she marked. And I had to agree with her that gloved hand probably was a C. But that lesson definitely taught me that you want to make sure that you complete all of your work to the same level. You never ever want anybody to be able to look at a piece that you're putting out there and know what you worked on last. So that would be my best piece of art advice that I could pass on. Thank you, Mrs. Kendall.
I don't know that I was given this advice, but I definitely learned this over time. Create because you were born to create. If you are an artist, you have such a deep need to make good art, and art that people recognize as yours. But this comes at a cost, and the cost is making bad art, making lots of art, and showing up and practicing even when you don't feel like it.
The best piece of art advice that I've ever been given, and that I can also give back, is to walk away. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for your art is to walk away from it. You're told more is more and less is more, and sometimes it's both, but there are times that you don't know if that piece is finished, or if it needs just a little something else, or if you've gone overboard and you're just not sure. And when you're not sure, the best thing to do is stop. Put down the paintbrush, put down the collage, put down the paint, put down the pens, whatever it is that you're working on, and walk away. A lot of times I'll tell you, take a picture of it before you walk away, because sometimes it's also good to get a different perspective, and looking at your artwork through a lens, through a camera, can many times give you a different perspective on your work. It's like looking at it through somebody else's eyes. Even though you're looking at it through a lens, it gives you a different perspective, and it's amazing how different your work may look looking at it through a camera rather than looking at it through your naked eyes. So stop, take a picture of it, and then walk away. There's times that I've walked away from it just for an hour, and then there's times that I have to walk away overnight, or the next week, or even the next month. And then there's other times I've walked away from a piece of art for months, and then come back to it, and I find I'm totally inspired to maybe rework it. Maybe I just needed to add a little bit more to it, and sometimes it just needed one little extra touch, and voila, it was finished. I mean, that's all it needed, was just that one little extra thing. So walk away from it. You never know what you need, and sometimes you just need to give it a fresh perspective, and that space sometimes is all that you need to do so. So don't be afraid to walk away from it, and then give it as much time as it needs. Sometimes art needs to percolate and you don't know what's going to come out of it. So don't think that it has to be finished in one setting at one time. Never. So that's the best piece of advice that I can give. Hope that helps.
The best piece of art advice I ever got was early on in my career, and it was actually before I was even selling my work, but it stuck with me. And the advice came from Jonathan Talbot, and he said, if somebody wants to buy one of your pieces, sell it. You are the artist. Make another one. And that speaks to the whole idea of a body of work, because that's what it is. It's when you explore the same subject over and over and you look at it from different angles, your work evolves and hopefully rises to a higher plane in that evolution. And I just remember him saying that, just sell it. You're the artist. And he's a man who has made his career as an internationally known artist, and so I respect that advice very much.
The best piece of art advice you have been given, and that is by another mentor of mine. His name is Dr. Eric Maisel. Dr. Maisel has done some one-on-one work with me, but I've done a lot of different online workshops with him. He's written like 50-some books, and has always really touted the daily practice. And that daily practice is something that you do every day with intent. And my daily practice, well, I have a few of them, but my most beloved, most valuable daily practice that I do is to get my butt in the studio for at least 2 hours a day. And you'd just be amazed at what you can accomplish by doing that. That means no notifications from your phone, no emailing, no checking Facebook, no knocks at your door. That time is for you, uninterrupted. Not cleaning the studio, you're in the studio doing your work, sitting your butt in your chair. It's a practice. It's not always easy. Some days are really bad, some days are really great, but it's always rewarding, always rewarding.
My name is Kat Kerr, and thanks for joining us in Art Chat. A huge thank you to the creatives that have taken the time to answer these questions. And if you want to participate, you can also answer the question in the comments below. This way, if somebody's watching the video and they want even more suggestions or tips or advice, all they have to do is look at the comments below. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you at the next Art Chat.